Give us one moment to go live.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We are live. Thank you.
Okay. All committee members are present, and we have one piece from last week, and it's the ordinance approving the creation of the City of Akron's Racial Equity and Social Justice Task Force, charging the task force with developing a pro-equity agenda for the City of Akron to be outlined in a 5-year strategic plan, charging the task force with delivering the strategic plan to the mayor, city council, and greater Akron community by December 2021. And we took time last week. I don't know if there were any questions or concerns reported. Is Ms. Tamika Rose on?
Hi, I am on.
Did you get any questions or concerns expressed?
No, I didn't receive any.
Okay. She also extended an invitation to all council members to join one of the subcommittees if you would like. So
And
since there were no, go ahead.
Madam Chairwoman, I did receive legal counsel from the law department that being that all of you have a seat at this table and have the ability to submit any changes that you see fit to the city ordinances, it would be deemed a conflict of interest if you all sat on the task force that would make recommendations to yourself.
Okay.
So if there's any questions or concerns, I defer your questions to the law department, but you can talk to President Somerville and see if there's anything that you would like for the committee to look into. But being that you guys have a seat at this premier table, you all already have an opportunity that other committee members don't have.
Okay. And not only that, all of the meetings will be public. They will be live streamed, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So you have an opportunity to sit in on all the meetings if you like. Are there any questions, concerns? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. I can see that Councilman Malik's hand is raised as well as Councilman Neal.
Okay, please. Let's go with Councilman Malik and then Neal. I'm assuming they came in that order. If not, forgive me, I can't see the hands.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rose, thank you for the clarification email, and certainly understand we want to abide by all of our ethical rules. The one concern or follow-up that I had from that I think we can just discuss ongoing is that since there will be the city council process that will be going forward and the equity task force that will be going forward, and they will cover somewhat similar things and probably make, in some cases, similar or different recommendations. I do think we should think through, some way where there can be continued dialogue or exchange of information between them, just so, the right hand knows what the left hand is doing and vice versa.
Yes, I agree with you, Councilman Malik, and at the same time, please understand that President Somerville and I are in constant conversation, so that will be those.
Totally. I just wanted to share that comment, but I absolutely know, you guys have put an awful lot of work into this, and I certainly appreciate it. I just wanted to flag it that was my reaction when I saw the email.
Yes, no, we will make sure that there will be continuous communication between both parties.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Neal?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a question when I saw the email too, because as you mentioned, there could be a conflict of interest. I thought about, all of our committees for reimagining public safety, where those recommendations are going to become before council or held by council members. So I don't know what the difference is there. But I mean, however the process works is fine, because my concern is that, we're 3.5 years in on this, and council has not yet taken the initiative for us to educate ourselves in the proper way so that we can address legislation that comes before us, as well as community concerns. So I hope that council will position itself by putting money in the budget for council, as well as, along with the administration. I think there has to be collaborative education between all city departments so that we grow in understanding and normalize this conversation when we talk about race and equity. Right now, there isn't any standardization. And the concern with the way this process worked is that it's following business as usual. Don't take this as a criticism, as a negative criticism, but I want us to understand the fact that it follows business as usual means that we're following the same systemic practice that has put our city in the position that it's in right now. You know, you have representation, elected representation from every ward in the city. I would have thought it may be healthier to ask at least each council person to refer 2 or 3 people from their ward to have the diversity from the ward. But what we did is we kind of like, it's just, again, business as usual. And what we have to understand is that when we do business as usual at this point in time, we're going to come with the same systemic outcomes. So I just hope that we are aware of that. I did have one question, and I have no problem because I know we've done this with other things. And when I say we, I'm talking about some other groups I've been a part with, where we're paying the people to attend the meetings. Did we pay or give a stipend to the folks that came to the youth task force meetings? And then lastly, what line item, budget item did the money for this come out of?
So I cannot answer that first question because I'm not privy to that information, but I can send you the actual line item by email if that's okay.
Well, yeah, just know where it came out. Or maybe you can answer this one. For people that came to the health task force meetings to put together a health test, did we pay those folks?
No, because that was during their normal course of business. Are you talking about the full-time first birthday? And these are for community members that are coming in after their full-time jobs or during their jobs, taking a lunch break. And we want to make sure that those individuals that do not have that are taking time away from their hourly jobs to participate in this are being compensated appropriately.
Again, I do not, I understand that people's time is valuable, but I want us to understand we are setting a precedent for other groups that we pull together. We've got some other issues that we've got to address in our community. So I believe we're setting a precedent. I just want to know what line item this came out of so that in the future, we can budget accordingly. Thank you.
I will send that line item to you. Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Are there any other hands raised, Madam Clerk, Deputy Clerk?
I don't see any other hands raised at this point.
So may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
It's been moved, and is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All
Was
in
that-
favor? Excuse me,
Was that a motion to suspend the rules, Madam Chair?
Mr. Freeman
Yes, motion to suspend the rules.
Thank you.
and Councilwoman, is it Samples?
I believe that was Baylor that seconded.
Oh, Baylor, okay. Baylor, is there a second to the suspended rules?
Yes.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
One abstention for me. So it's passed 4-1 abstention. So is there anything else to come before the committee? Hearing none, I believe the committee is adjourned.
Our next meeting is the Rules Committee meeting, and that's scheduled for 2:45. I have 2:41 right now, so if we just want to mute our microphones, and if you'd like to stop your video, you're welcome to do that and come back at 2:45. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please note we will be staying live. We are still live streaming.
All right, the time is 2:45, and I would like to call to order the Rules Committee meeting. Sarah, if we could have a roll call, please.
Of course, Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
All members are present.
Okay, I do not believe we have anything on the old agenda. We're just looking at one item, and this is a resolution acknowledging the accomplishments, legal career, and public service of United States Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, expressing condolences and sympathy to the family of Justice Ginsburg on her recent passing, encouraging the United States Senate to delay any confirmation hearings for the appointment of a new Supreme Court justice until after the 2021 presidential inauguration and declaring an emergency. All right, who was going to, was anybody going to be speaking to us about this item?
That would be Councilman Swirsky.
Okay, Councilman Swirsky.
Yes, I would like to speak to it. And I want to thank the people who are co-sponsors on this. And I'm sure that some other council people might want to provide some additional comments. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was incisive and sharp, and she was fueled by a thirst for justice, born out of her own experiences and supported by a Jewish tradition that emphasizes tikkun olam, or healing the world. No law firm would hire her when she graduated at the top of her class. And as a professor, she was paid less than her colleagues. But really, the influence of her family and her Jewish community growing up in the shadow of the Holocaust is something that never left her. Before Ginsburg, there were state-funded schools that didn't have to admit women. So public money was being used to discriminate against women. Women couldn't sign a mortgage or have a bank account without a male co-signer. It was hard for me to believe this, really, considering what a strong personality my mother was and how she really handled a lot of the finances of our household. But it had to be a male before Ginsburg who was involved, who was the co-signer with the bank account. She helped make strides towards equal pay. She preserved a woman's right to choose. She pushed to protect pregnant women in the workplace. And Ginsburg supported, at a time when it wasn't always that easy, same-sex marriages. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg was someone who inspired millions to fight the good fight and to practice tikkun olam, the healing of the world. And that is why we honor her. But at the same time, all of us who care about women's rights, gun control, environmental protection, and affordable health care, and who want to make sure that people with pre-existing conditions can still get help under the Affordable Health Care Act. All of us need to join with voices around the country, and I ask my colleagues here today to call on the United States Senate to delay confirmation hearings so that the next president can choose her replacement. With that, thank you. There may be others who want to speak up also.
Thank you, Mr. Swirsky. Are there any other comments from committee members? Any members of council that would like to add comment?
Mr. Chair, I can see that Councilman Malik's hand is raised.
Okay. Councilman Malik?
Thank you very much. And thank you to Mr. Swirsky and the other sponsors of this legislation. I know that Justice Ginsburg's passing has been another sad thing that has happened this year, where we have lost, a giant in American history. Justice Ginsburg was, as Councilman Swirsky said, someone who spent her career bringing the ideals of our country into reality, helping us not only as a litigator, before the US Supreme Court, but then eventually for decades as a member of that court, the highest court in the land. And I myself have been very personally inspired by Justice Ginsburg. And I know that that's true for so many people. Just yesterday, there was a small gathering at Hardesty Park, and there was a 11th grader at Fire student who spoke about how inspired she had been by Justice Ginsburg and how Justice Ginsburg makes her want to pursue a career in the law. And so I just wanted to share that. And I'm sure that, tonight it might be appropriate to add, mayor and council as a whole. But I just wanted to say my piece.
Thank you. Mr. Swirsky.
Yeah, I would welcome that effort. I know Ms. Samples, I think it's on chat. Ms. Samples would like to add her name, but I'm sure that others would. And so I don't know if someone would like to make a motion either now or tonight to make it mayor and council as a whole. That'd be great. That'd be great.
I probably need to speak up. I do wish that this particular resolution would have come in as two resolutions. First resolution, acknowledging Justice Ginsburg. I, however, will have to defer on this resolution, given the second part of the resolution regarding the new appointment of a Supreme Court justice. If the sponsors would want to break the resolution into two separate resolutions, I would have no issue whatsoever. But I will probably be the deferring. I will have to defer to just what I feel is allowed by our current rules and regulations. I understand it's out of precedent to appoint someone this quick, but I would have preferred to have seen this come in as two separate resolutions. Yes, Mr. Swirsky.
Well, Mr. Freeman, I know that it's interesting because the more I learned about Justice Ginsburg and her personal life and her relationship with just the other justice who's a lot more conservative, Scalise, is that the right name? That I have the same fond feelings towards you, but I disagree with you on this. And I hope that we could pass this this afternoon and again this evening.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? I might not see you on my screen. Any other comments? Okay, do you see anything, Sarah?
It looks like Councilman Fusco's hand is raised.
Okay, Mr. Fusco?
Yes, thank you. I too rise in favor of this resolution. And, whenever you look at the life of someone of the caliber of the justice, you see, I think what we're all about, and that is trying to leave this place better off than we found it. And I think that's what Council Representative Swirsky was alluding to. And so I encourage all of us to support this. However, also the second piece of it, and I understand what you're saying, Council Representative Freeman, in terms of the timing of when someone would be nominated. It wasn't long ago whenever we saw that there was foot dragging going on. Not long ago. Let's not forget that, and it was appropriate to wait till the next president to bring forward a nominee. That was what happened 4 years ago, not long ago. And so now we're seeing the opposite from the same party. So with that, I rise in favor of this particular, and I know that that was Justice Ginsburg. That was a wish, I believe, if I'm correct, that this is done correctly. So, thank you.
And I would acknowledge you're absolutely correct. We're seeing some hypocrisy here, folks that were feeling one way 4 years ago, and suddenly they feel a different way today, and that probably hypocrisy at its best. So, looking for a motion.
There are two other hands raised. Councilwoman
I'm only
Amobian.
seeing 6 people on my screen. I apologize.
I understand. Councilwoman Amobian and then Councilman Malik.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
That's okay, Mr. Freeman. I have the same problem trying to see everything. But I too support this resolution. Justice Ginsburg was a pioneer in so many ways for women, but for all people, actually. I think not only her sharp mind and all of the briefs that she has written over the years, but her activism and the fact that she served 87 years, this woman was, not a retirement. And I love how she came across as being timid and just a very civil, sharp-minded lady, but obviously she was very strong and persevered in her beliefs and in social justice, and just have so much admiration for the things that she stood up for, and for the fairness and the dedication that she manifested. I looked at her every time she would have a setback in her health. She would go to the hospital and come out seemingly stronger and exercising. I think she tried her best to live until the end of this presidency, but unfortunately she didn't make it. But I agree with the entire resolution. It makes no sense to ram through a nominee at this point. And I strongly support this, and I think we have to wait until tonight to do council as a whole. But I'm not sure. I know that's what we've done in the past. But no, I rise in strong support of this, and I appreciate people bringing it in. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Councilman Malik?
Thank
Councilman Malik.
you. Yeah, I just wanted to, speak to the second point with respect to your perspective. Certainly respect your perspective, Mr. Chair. But, as Mr. Fudd said, in February of 2016, Justice Scalia died. And I think it was within minutes that Senator McConnell said that there weren't going to be any hearings because it was an election year. And when Justice Ginsburg died, early voting had already started in many states. And, we've seen the politicization of the US Supreme Court over the decades from both the right and the left in kind of escalating ways. And it's kind of reached what feels to many of us, I think, as a breaking point. And I think we all acknowledge the hypocrisy that's here, but I think it is important to take a step back and say that when one group of folks sets out a rule for other folks, that it has to apply to them as well. And so, with respect, would make a motion if unless there's anything else for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Nays?
Aye.
Nay? All right, we will present that this evening.
Did you
I believe
abstain on
that's-
that, Chairman Freeman?
Okay.
Chairman Freeman, did you abstain on that vote?
No, I voted nay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if you want to do a roll call, that'd be fine, but
Sure. Freeman,
nay?
Busco,
Aye.
Omobian,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-1. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe that's all we have coming before us, and we will adjourn at 2:58.
The last committee meeting for today is the Budget and Finance Committee meeting. Those committee members are Freeman, Omobian, Malik, Baylor, and Lombardo. It is not quite 3 o'clock yet, so we can just wait a minute till it becomes 3 o'clock. We can get started. Thank you. Okay, it looks like it is 3 o'clock, so we can get started whenever you're ready.
All right, call the Budget and Finance Committee meeting to order. And if we could have a roll call, please.
Freeman,
Aye.
Amobian,
Sorry, aye.
thank you. Malik,
Aye.
Baylor,
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
All committee members are present.
Very good. We have one item coming before us. This is ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent to enter into a contract or contracts without the formality of advertising for bids for the purchase of annual subscriptions and maintenance packages for the software currently used by various departments of the city through December 31st, 2021, and declaring an emergency. And who do we have that's going to be speaking to us today? Okay, looks like no one. I think we'll take time on this and just place it on our agenda for next week then. Anything else to come before us? Okay, if not, we are adjourned at 3:01. Thank you.
Bye-bye.